Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Seems like one of them fire, incredibly amazing celebrations, crazy hype DOKKANFEST LR. Let's just waste no time, let's just jump right in. This of course is going to be the 55% video. We'll go ahead and check out exactly how effective UI Goku is going to be, and then I will quickly get to the grind and do my best to try and be able to take this bad boy into these tough fights soon and stuff like that. Get him rainbowed, max level 10 links and stuff like that. Now, at the moment, I do, like, regardless of anything, Goku transformed is top, say it with me, chat, top 1 overall once he transforms, definitely. And I was thinking that, you know, as of right now, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, UI Goku is #1, because I think, like, Beast and Cell Max's impact is probably going to be a little bit better. I mean, this is before I use him, though, so I want to keep my mind open to change and stuff like that. But I think I probably will have UI Goku at 3, right? And then just, like, once he transforms, he explodes way past all the other characters. He's not bad in base, by the way, UI Goku. I think his base is effective. He's fine. But I do think, I mean, I like to go into the new fights blind, but I was not able to because they dropped the fights at the same time as summons. People are coming in my chat. Like, I've already heard that, like, the new Supreme Battle Spectacle Evolution Blue Vegeta fight is, like, damn near the hardest fight in the game. Like, or right, like, top 1, 2 in discussion. And it has dodge canceling. Again, people already, like, they're spamming it through chat. So, I mean, if they're going to design fights around this guy, I mean, he's very quickly is just going to become the best unit in the game, right? If they're designing fights around this guy's kit, which it seems like they are indeed going to be doing. So, I mean, this guy, I mean, so many global players are like, oh my god, is he a must-have? Should we skip anniversary, skip this, skip that for him? Remember, we don't know where this guy's coming out on global. I would try and recommend to not, like, worry so much about having stones for this guy. I think that this guy will come in kind of like a weird spot in global, and potentially global, I think, could get like a huge extra amount of like free summons to compensate for the fact that this guy is probably like gonna be showing up along with like other characters, stuff like I summon for anniversary on global, and then, you know, worry about like UI Goku later once he comes up, will probably be my advice. We have him 55%. Let's jump in and see how effective this guy is. Guys, all right, I'm going to come back real quick just to show. So I hopped into an event, and immediately UI Goku was in slot 7. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to see here. But UI Goku was indeed in slot 7. If there is a problem with this guy, I mean, we'll see what the new fights look like once we get into them. But with how it stands in the current meta and how strong UI Goku's teams are, when he starts out in slot 7 like this, we just aren't going to see his transformation, pretty much. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, Goku is not going to get transformed in the run. And that's where UI Goku, again, takes off, and he's, you know, infinity times better. But, again, if this guy has a weakness, they gave him a horrible transformation condition. At least he does not have to deal with HP the way, you know, Blue Vegito and TEQ Vision Zamasu and stuff like that do. But it's still turn 5 from the start of turn 5 from first appearance, however you want to say it. It's just not good, unfortunately. And it leads to opening rotation being a huge, huge outcome on the fight. Like, a huge factor in the outcome of the fight. Oh man, we were waiting for that to get into Dokkan. Finally, we've got it. That is good shit. That is a fire animation. That's, whew. Yeah, they cooked. They cooked with that. All right, so UI Goku right away. Now, one thing immediately, chat, that we have to talk about. You guys know this is a big thing I talk about when it comes to, like, LRs and how great they are. And this is a huge advantage Goku has over Cell Max. Compare Goku's ki to like what Cell Max looks like turn 1, right? Like, Goku starting the turnout at 22 ki is pretty big. Now, keep in mind that 17 and 18 did super attack last turn, so we do have their support buff up. what is UI Goku looking like? Okay, oh wow, this 55% friend is link leveled quite a bit. Full 8s already. Okay. Yeah, so this friend is link leveled quite a bit. We got some additionals. I mean, I'll just save talk for build until later, but I do think that this UI Goku is yet another character where build is kind of... I feel like there's going to be a lot of talk about how to build this guy, and he really doesn't matter so much. He just has everything built in already. It doesn't, like, you know, it's just really optimizing, I guess, whatever ability you value, although crit is kind of, I think, maybe a little bit silly. I mean, he's going to build up crit so fast, but, I mean, let's save it for later. All right, so, my UI Goku is in slot 7, so he's not transforming in this run, right? Like, we'd have to go, it's... People think these fights last longer than they actually do. It's kind of like the point here. This UI Goku will be able to transform on turn 6. I think the chances are good that we're just going to finish this fight before we get a chance to transform with him, but we'll see how it's going to go. We'll see. All right, so in terms of links here, Goku has, what is this? Over in a Flash, Prepare for Battle, Godly Power, Kamehameha, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. So we could get 6 out of 7 right here, which I guess we should do. It's not like Goku is going to get extra strength from being in slot 1 or anything like that. But when he dodges an attack, he does get a guaranteed additional super. Yeah. And, I mean, let's talk about Goku's super attack effects real quick before we actually get the turn going. So his 18-key super attack right here, he gets 50% attack for 1 turn. He gets 30% defense for 1 turn. He does Mega Colossal damage to the enemy, and then allies get 30% defense for 1 turn. So that's pretty good. And then with his 12 key, he gets 30% attack for 1 turn, 50% defense for 1 turn, Colossal damage to the enemy, and then allies get 30% attack. So sure, let's put him in slot 1 and let him deal with that. I mean, if we were, like, it's like, okay, like, we gotta, you know, win no matter what. I mean, we could put Vegeta in slot 1 to get his revive, but, I mean, I don't, like, the team is too strong. We're not gonna have trouble. All right, so he didn't dodge right away. So the way Goku works, at this point, chat, dodge or die is not good, right? Like, so, like, Hirudegarn is not, like, a character me or anyone is caping for, right? Like, I don't, like, the fights are too hard. They're too hard because it just, the bosses hit way too hard. So, like, we're not, I don't think, gonna see too often. I'm talking about, like, Dokkanfest LR, summonable LR, shit like that, right? I'm not talking about, like, banner units, free-to-play character stuff. But, like, I don't think we're gonna see too many just, like, straight-up dodge or die characters anymore from major slots. It's gonna be stuff like this, where, you know, this Goku, right, he has, you know, so he has built-in, he has, what, the 50% chance to dodge, he gets 15% damage reduction, and then he gets 35% damage reduction until he gets hit. So the first time he gets hit, he has 50% damage reduction. Then after he gets hit, he guards. So then, you know, his first hit, he's got 50% damage reduction. A second hit, he'll be guarding with 15% damage reduction, right? When he dodges, he gets a guaranteed additional super, which we saw. If he's in the second or third slot, he gets an additional with a, what is it? 70% chance to super. Okay, sure. All right, so now we'll go into this next turn. Now my UI Goku is going to actually go ahead and show up right here. All right, so, oh, actually, maybe, okay, one thing I had overlooked with this UI Goku, so his dodge chance in base, wait, is that true? It's only 50%? Because his intro with 1 Universal Survival Saga ally in the turn, then he gets the 4-key, 77% attack and defense for 7 turns, and then 77% attack and defense for 4 turns. He gets 7-key, 200% attack and defense at the start of turn. No, it is a 70% chance to dodge. 70% chance to dodge, 70% chance to crit. Yeah, see, this is what, like, characters look like now. Like, the hidden potential system is, like, it's, you know, it's just, like, it's like an antiquated system. Like, the friend system, like, box space, you know, like, a lot of this shit is just, like, pointless now. Because it's like, dude, like, he has, at bare minimum, he has 70% dodge, 70% crit, and a 70% chance of an additional super. At bare minimum. Built in. That's all of the hidden potential system abilities. So, like, if you're really trying to optimize build with him, probably raw attack. I don't think raw defense is going to matter. Like, people will see, oh, he's guarding and he's got damage reduction. Listen, kids, he's cooked. At 275, like, he's dead. It doesn't matter that he's got damage reduction, he's guarding his shit. Like, he's dead. He's dead. It's dodge or die, but it's not as, like, the guarding and the damage reduction and abilities for him, it's not so he can live supers. It's so he can tank normals. Because every dodge character, unless it's 100% dodge, they're going to get hit here or there, right? So, all right, I guess let's put him in slot 1. I mean, one thing that's really good, so remember, on top of him being fairly tanky, Vegeta supering right here would crush us, but I mean, this is, you know, 55% link level 1, no links, stuff like that. Vegeta would absolutely crush us if he supered and connected with my Goku. I mean, we'll see, because remember, the first hit he takes, he has 50% damage reduction up. All right, so the super attack is instantly. I hope we dodge this. Just please dodge this, my boy. Okay, okay. Okay, good. All right, perfect. And then he dodges both. Awesome. So we get the guaranteed additional super. He's going to be able to support on his super. Now, remember, Goku's stats, I think, are going to look lower than people potentially would expect. It's because Goku does not have multiplicative buffs, right? Which is why. You know, he's not getting, you know, stats when he super attacks. I mean, from his, like, a super attack effect, yeah. But passive super attack ability, in his passive, he doesn't have that. And then, okay, we just dodge everything. UI Goku is going to look a lot stronger next to this guy, by the way. Having all of these links up. Oh, I didn't show links, but we have 6 out of 7 with AGL UI Goku. We have 6 out of 7 links are up right now. The only link we don't have activated is Over in a Flash. Which, I mean, to be fair, at link level 1 only gives Ki anyway. All right, so UI Goku with the triple super, triple crit. Beautiful. This is what, again, this is the guy people have downplayed. I have seen people criminally put, and then he takes double digits when he does get hit. I've seen people criminally put Gogeta above him, which is just like, it's just like comical. Like, it's comedy. Like, it's like UI Goku is just like better in every way than Gogeta until Gogeta gets his taunt or his target mechanic up. At that point, that's when he's like better than AGL UI. Remember, the 6th anniversary LR EZAs are gonna have a huge like conversation in why this UI Goku is gonna be so good, because UI Goku has 7 and 6 and 5 linking partners, like 5 links active, 6 links active, 7 links active, with actually the best units in the game. Great. And then here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Did you guys like transformed UI in this run? The answer is no, because we didn't see it. Like this, you know, regardless of what people want to say, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be very, like in the current fights, so I'm not talking about, I mean, I have not jumped into the new Supreme Battle Spectacle yet, but guys, this is what it looks like. You kill these bosses. Like, I say this shit from experience, and people pretend like I'm making it up. But, like, no, dude. Like, it's like, we're going to kill these bosses before they get a chance to even think. Took a little damage there. Okay. I mean, remember, we have support up. 17 and 18. I mean, UI Goku leads a good team. We can run 17 and 18 and the LR Gammas, like, pretty safely and effectively. All right, so, of course... Yo, he didn't dodge it, so he didn't get the guaranteed additional super. All right, dodge this. Okay, good. All right. That, I think, probably would have killed us. Maybe. We do have a lot of HP. With two 55% UI Gokus, we still have a lot of HP. Yeah, look at the stats that, like, Vegeta and UI Goku are hitting, and they're not even revived yet, right? Like, they're going to get their revive buffs, and their stats are going to jump way up. But, like, you see the amount of damage that these kids are hitting? Like, guys, I can't... like, if there's only one issue with UI Goku, I think he's good enough in base. I think UI Sign Goku, to me, he seems significantly stronger than Gogeta and Broly in base. Right? Gogeta and Broly, their first couple of turns, like, they're solid. They're solid. I do think UI Sign is much stronger than them. UI Sign is not as good in base. I mean, this is 55%, but he's not as good in base as, like, you know, turn 1 Vegeta, turn 1 AGL UI, Beast Gohan right away. They're better, but once Goku transforms, he's God, but they didn't give him a good transformation condition. If I would change only one thing about UI Sign Goku, it would simply just be to change his active skill to turn 4 start of battle. You do that, and he's best unit in the game by far. Like, it's crazy. All right, so of course, first run, like, this stage is now too weak for a showcase stage, I guess. I guess this stage is now just too weak for a showcase stage. Let me just go into maybe a fight against an immortal enemy so we could actually see UI Goku transform. Let's go in there. Let's transform with UI Goku and see, again, once we transform and his domain goes up, he's dominant god of the game. All right, guys. So we're here in a second event. I just went into the Bojack Dokkan event because we could just slam on Bojack for a while, and he's got infinite HP. So we'll be able to see full advantage of like UI Goku's domain and stuff like that. Again, I will say this. I fully anticipate fights will be coming that will be designed around UI Goku. So, like, transforming with him will probably not be an issue, but it certainly is a thing right now. So we got both UI Sign Goku in turn 2. That means essentially we'd be able to transform with one of them on turn 6 and probably one of them on turn 7 because of the way... Well, no, it would be turn 8. Or... one of them will be able to transform on turn 6, and the other will be able to transform on turn 7, yeah. Because like we'd have to like split them up and stuff like that. So I'll come back on turn 6 once we're ready to transform into Mastered UI Goku. We did already see kind of like all of the details and stuff, like kind of like what UI Sign Goku is capable of doing. We saw. Again, I think he's significantly improved in base compared to what the earlier LRs of this year look like in base. Again, Gogeta and Broly. He's, I think, way above them because, again, he's got the dodge, but then he's also got guard and he's got damage reduction and stuff like that. Like, he looks good. So, like, we could run UI Sign Goku in slot 1. Huge issue with Gogeta and Broly is if you end up in a situation where you got to gamble and run them in slot 1, shit like that happens all the time. You know, the way the fight can progress, and they can get cooked. But UI Sign Goku, I mean, you know, we could put him in front of STR Kid Buu Super Attack, or we could put him in front of slot 1, right? Like, we're going to have a little bit of kind of like we're going to be a little bit more free to just, you know, maneuver him where we need to best win, which is a huge advantage he has. Because, again, when I'm talking about UI Goku, by the way, understand, UI Goku is a DOKKANFEST LR. So I'm comparing him to Broly, Gogeta, Beast, the Gammas. That is the type of character. Like, compare a DOKKANFEST LR to a DOKKANFEST LR and Carnival LRs. You know, compare DOKKANFEST TUR to other DOKKANFEST TURs. Compare EZA, you know, because a huge mistake I saw people make is they'll compare, like, you know, Vegeta's a little bit better than UI Goku, but they'll compare this Vegeta to, like, an EZA DOKKANFEST TUR, and it's not, like, a good comparison because they're different class of characters, right? So it's like the reason I'm pointing out Broly and Gogeta, and we could talk about Beast, and we'll talk about, you know, the Gammas and these, you know, these types of characters. That's the classic character Goku is. So, all right, we'll come back on turn 6 when he's ready to transform. Guys, we're here for this turn. You know what I realized is we didn't actually have a turn with UI Goku in slot 2 or 3. Remember that UI Goku does have a different ability in slot 2 or 3. I don't think it matters. I mean, again, UI and base is really good. So we can kind of just put him wherever we need to. I think, like, what's best suited to potentially win the event, that's a good thing, right? With him having all the dodge and everything he's got, like, he should be looking good. All right, so we're going to have 6 out of 7 activated. I believe we do have 17 and 18 support up. I think... Oh, damn. I'm this deep in the video, and I didn't get a chance to mention it. So, I'm sure people will be asking, where is MVP Universe 7? You know, we're using them on the private server. Why aren't you using them? Because that character doesn't come out for 5 days still. Like, they don't come out for quite a while. To Team Universe 7. So we're going to do all the UI Goku videos before LR Team Universe 7 actually gets a chance to come out, right? So, like, if you're wondering, like, why we're not using Team Universe 7, it's because they're not EZA'd yet, and they don't EZA for, like, 5 days. But, like, they, you know, I think with them on the team, I do think, like, 17 and 18 now, I mean, they could still get, well, I mean, I was going to say they could still get smoked, but, I mean, they'll have a scouter up. I think 17 and 18... like, running on kind of like a reps of Universe 7 type of team, like, they should be kind of safe. I think 17 and 18, like this is now the type of setup where they will look a lot better. And, you know, if they're ever next to Team Universe 7, I mean, having all those Android links up, both are going to look pretty good. So, all right, now, next turn 6, we will be able to transform with UI Goku. Keep in mind, he has a domain transformation. So right now, if we're running double UI Goku, we can only transform with one at a time. And I guess this is a little bit relevant since UI Goku does have a lot of, like, intro-related buffs, right? Like, he is going to get weaker as time goes on if we're running double UI Goku. Remember, he gets 77% attack and defense for 7 turns, and then an extra 77% attack and defense for 4 turns. So it's like, this is a character that does need the domain update if we're going to be running double UI Goku. Remember what I said, guys. Unfortunately, the way it is right now, if your favorite character has got a domain, I mean, that's just not, it's not really good. Right, like you don't actually want to be a domain character right now. I think we could easily see the update actually kind of take place and occur. You know, where all we need for the domain update, by the way, is we just need it to where you can use a domain if another is up. That's all it is. So you're overwriting a domain. You can do that with the taunt mechanic, the target mechanic. If one is up, you could still use another. That's all the domain does not need to be adjusted at all, besides simply just letting us, like, be able to use one, even if one is already up. That's it. All right, guys, here we go. So we get here. Now it's just gonna get a little silly. It's gonna get a little silly now. Like, it's just gonna get a little silly. Again, keep in mind, mark of a good LR. Look at this. It's just 24 key right away. That is always good. Let's pop this. So we're going to pop our domain. We're going to transform. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so here's the domain. Now, one good thing about UI Goku having a domain here is that this is the first superhero character that has a domain. So one thing that really hurts for, damn, my brain. One thing that really hurts for the Super Bosses characters, right? You know, you have Broly, Fusion Zamasu, Rose, all fighting to get their domain up. UI Goku doesn't have that issue, I mean, unless we're running his team specifically, right? And we don't have to. We can run his team, which is going to be very dominant. We don't need to run Beast on this team. We can. Or we could just run full superhero led by Beast. We could run superhero led by the Gammas. We have several different options for how we want to handle things. Again, superhero, I mean, there truly is just 10 different variants we could run full of the best units in the game. This shit gets really nasty. So, okay, understand the full scope of this UI Goku. He's invincible. He's God. I just, you know, he is him. Simply, he is him. Again, look. Start a turn. 24 key. We already, key is not an issue whatsoever. This is huge. Characters that look like this, that are able to do this, it's just such, it truly is such a big deal. Because, like, you know, with UI Goku, I could just, like, hit, like, this orb or this orb right here to just make things easier on 17, 18 who need orbs. Characters that require no assistance with key whatsoever, that matters. When we're, you know, when they're the God event and every phase, God event boss, Moscow is AoE supering, Belmont is sealing, this character stunning, this character cancels dodge. God event boss rush is going to be so toxic if they just, like, put all 12 fights in a row. It's going to be the most toxic fight in the game. And it's like in situations like that where these ridiculous bullshit boss abilities are happening, a character not needing to concern themselves with key whatsoever truly matters a lot. So let's just go over the huge effect Goku has on the field once he shows up. So we have his domain ability right here. His domain is going to be pretty good. Right now, a lot of the tough bosses in the game are all going to be super class, though. So Goku is, unfortunately, going to be buffing bosses, which is not good, of course. You know, like, people are telling me that the new Evolution Blue Vegeta fight seems like the toughest fight in the game, right? Like, if we get there, I mean, this is giving super class allies and enemies plus 15% attack and defense. The new event is Supreme Battle Spectacle. Every fight in there is going to be a super class character. Unless, I guess, maybe if there's a Frieza, like maybe there's one of the last fights, like phase 1 is like 17 and Frieza. Then phase 2 is like, you know, Goku and Frieza or something like that. Like the combo character. But like the Supreme Battle Spectacle is going to be all super class enemies. And Goku buffing the enemies, I mean, when they're dropping 4 million supers on us and Goku's giving them an extra 15% attack, that is kind of unfortunate. I do wish that these domains would chill with buffing the bosses, because you guys realize that's a way they can power creep our characters, right? Yeah, UI Goku is #1 dominant, huge by far, but he makes it easier for a weaker character like, I don't know, 17 and 18. I mean, they'll have a scouter, but just for the sake of argument, 17 and 18 to get smoked by one of these, 4 million, 5 million supers that are going to be coming, and they're buffed even further by UI Goku, making the gap between the weaker character and Goku even bigger. The gap between the weaker character being able to deal with a big boss even bigger. That is the thing. I've seen it happen with Broly. I don't want to pretend like it's a common thing, but I have seen it at least happen where Broly's domain has directly led to me taking a ton more extra damage and dying. Now, one of the craziest things that this has is it does cancel enemy evasion canceling effects. So characters, bosses that are guaranteed to hit are canceled with his Shining World of Void domain right here. That's really good. But, I mean, dodge canceling wasn't really a problem. It does almost kind of feel like they just... It's like, all right, we created a boss that cancels dodge canceling, so now every fight has dodge canceling, and you better be using UI Goku or else you're not dodging, which is going to be very toxic when even Beast Gohan is able to be touched by 4 million supers, if you don't have his active up or something like that. So shit is potentially going to get very scary. And then finally, this buff right here is only for allies, thank God. Plus 15% attack for allies who also belong to Realm of Gods. So if we back up and examine the team right here, TEQ UI, AGL UI, Evolution Blue Vegeta, Blue Kaioken, and Evolution Blue Vegeta down there, and then the other TEQ UI, they're all getting 30% attack and 15% defense from the domain. So the huge monster ability right there is really, really nice. This big support ability is very strong for sure. All right, let's just quickly take a look at some of the other stuff. Again, this guy is #1 in the game, huge gap, once he transforms for sure. So his 18 key super, he gets 50% attack, 30% defense, mega colossal damage. Wait, no, whoops, my bad. He gets, it's 50% attack and defense for 1 turn, mega colossal damage, and then all allies get 59% attack and defense for 1 turn. So, I mean, this guy is going to be a god in slot 1, and then he is going to be directly buffing all allies 59%. That's crazy. He's countering, he's guaranteed dodging, he's supporting in multiple different ways. You look at, this is what best units in the game look like now. Where it's like he has so much support, guaranteed dodging, counters, he's going to be damn near guaranteed critting. It's just so crazy what he's doing. Then his 12 key super here. He gets 50% attack and defense for 1 turn, colossal damage, and disables enemy guard. Looking at our passive, he gets 300% attack and defense start a turn. 7 key, 59% attack, guaranteed dodge for him. And then all allies get a 10% chance to dodge for 1 turn. So that little extra dodge support will be good for that 1 turn. I mean, it certainly could help. A character like AGL UI Goku, right, would now jump up to 87% chance to dodge. Pretty good. Then he gets 3 key, 20% crit and 20% dodge per attack performed, up to 12 key and 77% crit and dodge. So it's going to be huge turn 1 where he has guaranteed dodge to put him in front of as many attacks as possible to build up as fast as possible. You only have to do, what, 5 attacks? No, 5 attacks. No, 4 attacks. It's only 4 attacks in order to fully build up. He only has to do 4 attacks, and he's going to have, fully built up crit and dodge. Key does actually need... No, the key is 4 as well. Yeah, it's just 4 attacks, and he has 12 key, 77% crit, 77% dodge, which is pretty strong. Then he counters when he dodges, which is one of the most silly abilities they've thought of. And funny enough, they gave it to the free-to-play hit as well. Countering and then dodging is ridiculous. Like dodging and then countering is just ridiculous. Then he gets 20% damage reduction baseline, another 40% damage reduction until receiving an attack. So on subsequent turns, not his first turn because he's 100% dodge, and no matter what, bosses can't cancel his dodge turn. He literally cannot be touched turn 1. Then on turn 2, he has 60% damage reduction until he gets hit. 55% Link level 1, we have 272k defense. Next to AGL UI, by the way, we do have 7 out of 7 links activated, so we'd have a lot more extra stats and shit like that. You guys get that, right? So we have that. He gets 91% attack, and then 20% crit and 20% dodge if HP is 50% or below at the start of turn. So he can be up to 97% chance to crit and dodge, which is balanced. And then he gets a guaranteed additional super at 24 key. Again, you guys want to know who he is? He is him. That's him. He's him. He's him. We can get 7 orbs right there. That'll be good. Yeah, there should be 7 still. If it isn't 7, I'll just reset. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go. Here we go. So now, I mean, once you get here, everything just starts dying, bruh. Everything is dead. All right, goodbye, Zengia. See ya. And then he's just, like, going to be building up crit, building up dodge, killing bosses. This guy is going to look very, very silly. So then here's this attack. And then remember, we had 24 keys, so he does have a guaranteed additional as well. I mean, I probably, with my build, I mean, at this point, we could talk about it. I probably am going to go full dodge, secondary additional is what I'm going to do. The crits are going to be huge for him to be able to do damage with these counters and shit like that. But remember, like, we're now fully built up, so he's going to have a 77% chance to crit at this point. So it's like he's already going to have that. He'll 30 for you. 30 he does. Yeah, him and Vegeta, their damage is going to shoot up quite a bit with this support. And then he gets 20 million. I mean, both of these by UI Goku are guaranteed crits, by the way. And you guys see what I'm talking about, how the bosses are not going to last very long. Like, when you're doing a 30 million guaranteed crit into a 20 million guaranteed crit, none of these bosses we have in game right now are living very long against us, guys. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, at the second you get to this form of Master TEQ UI Goku, the fight ends. Bosses cannot stand up against this guy. They can't do it. They can't do it. They cannot do it. They cannot stand up to this UI Goku. All right, guys. I figure we can get this turn, and then we could probably finish up, I guess. So remember, we could run these two together, but it's actually only going to be 6 out of 7. It'll be 7 out of 7 next to Mastered UI here. All right, so we'll just go ahead and get some damage in. We'll attack Bojack a couple of times, then he'll attack Beto right there. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, this is what this UI Goku looks like. I'm going to be very curious to see how power creep and things like that progress. UI Goku actually seems so ridiculous. Like, how tough are they going to make fights? I don't know. I mean, I know people are going to... I've already seen people like, oh my god, Code Red, what are we going to do? Power creep is so oppressive. Power creep is so crazy. Power creep is so unfair. But, I mean, okay, it is. But if they make EZAs as good as they made AJL UI and in Evolution Blue Vegeta, it's not actually going to be that big of a deal, right? In 2022, they were not giving us UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, and Blue Kaioken and Evolution Blue Vegeta, and all these crazy EZAs we've gotten this year. They weren't giving us those characters, right? Now, they are. So, with all these, you know, like crazy EZAs, it can give you true options to be able to handle these bosses. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We can go ahead and, I guess, finish up here. We saw what UI Goku looks like. I mean, definitely... I was thinking UI Goku would actually look a little bit less impressive in base because he... Or, excuse me, not in base. I was thinking UI Goku would look a little bit less impressive at 55% because he's not really carrying all these multiplicative buffs. But, I don't know. I did not see issues or anything like that with Goku. Actually, it's like Goku, you know, there was no problems. It was just Goku was just like ridiculously dominant, actually. Like at 55%, he still seems like he's going to be one of the best units in the game. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We don't have a... Yeah, here. I'm just going to... Let's just super with Gamma 1. We'll get a 2-turn defensive support. We don't have a Goku on this rotation right here, so we wouldn't be able to get 17, 18 support. Now, one thing I just want to confirm right here. So there's 2 types of domain transformation characters. Broly is a character who permanently transforms, like, no matter what. Like, he stays transformed. Does UI Goku stay transformed? He does. So he has a permanent transformation. So a character like Physical Rose or Tech Fusion Zamasu, their transformation, I don't know if it's directly tied to their domain. So, like, let's say we use Rose's domain. He goes into his transformed state. and then we also then, you know, domain update happens and we immediately transform a Broly. Like, does Rose then revert to base? I think, like, you know, there's some characters who permanently transform, like UI and Broly, and then other characters who just have a transformation during the duration of their domain. I don't think that really, like, the domain update is fine, even if, if we lose the domain, Rose goes back to base, because we could still, you know, like, we could still just transform with, like, Broly first and then try and use Rose's domain or something like that, right? Since Broly is a permanent transformation. We could just, let's see what Goku does right here. So this is now him without his buff. Like we don't have his domain buff. I mean, remember, the domain buff is giving monster, god-level stats to this guy. So let's see what we do right here. Well, we're just going to kill him with the counter, actually. Yeah, the counter's just going to kill him. All right, bye, Bojack. Yeah, this is going to be hilarious to see when the... Oh, he actually didn't... He didn't crit? What? He had a 77% chance to crit right there. Okay, sure. I mean, well, hey, there's your argument for, you know, giving them the full crit build. 30 crit. Don't worry. My friends list on JP here is going to be full of 30 crit. Oh, yeah, it was actually pretty important to get that in the video, right? My friends list is going to be full of the 30 crit build UI Gokus. I mean, sure. Right, we'll have mine that's going to be a little bit better optimized for defense, and then the friend one optimized better for offense. Maybe it'll work out well. We'll see. Okay, let's just kind of look at his kit now. But yeah, this guy... I mean, I'm feeling like he's number 3, I think, right now. I mean, I know about what, but like, just like what Cell Max and Gohan, they're just way stronger than base UI Sign Goku at the start of these fights. And it's like, yeah, this guy is monster when he's transformed, but like literally our first run, like we killed the boss before he even transformed. Like I think even in some of these big Supreme Battle Spectacle fights, it's gonna be like that right now. So, like, I do want to focus on what is happening, not what could happen. So, it's like, you know, UI Goku's domain could really buff the boss and cause us to lose, but I'm going to be curious to see, like, is that just kind of like, oh, it could happen, like, you know, Beast dying without his intro or Cell Max dying, or is it something that actually does happen with consistency? I think it's more so, like UI Goku's flaws, besides his transformation condition being bad, that's a real flaw. But like things like his domain potentially buffing the bosses too much is probably going to be more so a it could happen type thing rather than something that does happen consistently. But we'll keep an eye out for all this stuff. All right, guys. So there was UI Goku, really good. I mean, this is what we want to see when we get DOKKANFEST LRs and stuff like this. Maximum hype, maximum power. You know, like being able to buff characters with the domain, very strong in base, god of the game once he transforms, definitely looking quite good here. So there's a lot for us to discuss with this guy. Let's go ahead and get into it. So this right here, this is Limit Breaking Godly Power, Goku Ultra Instinct Sign. So he's Universal Survival Saga, Entrusted Will, or Realm of Gods. Category Key 3, 170% of stats. Then the extra 30% is for characters in Reps Universe 7, Accelerated Battle, or the Powerful Comeback category. So, pretty good. This UI Goku right here, right? Like, he is going to be having a strong leader skill. Beast Gohan is in there from Entrusted Will. Carnival Gogeta is in there from Realm of Gods. So we have some other major options that are going to be in there as well, right? Realm of Gods, of course, is looking pretty good. So his 12 key super attack, Unpolished Instinct. He gets 30% attack for 1 turn, 50% defense for 1 turn, colossal damage to the enemy, and then raise allies' attack by 30%. Pretty good. 18 key super attack is the Kamehameha. 50% attack for 1 turn, 30% defense for 1 turn, mega colossal damage, and then raise allies' defense by 30% for 1 turn. Even in base, this guy will be strong enough, I think, to go in slot 1. A super attack will definitely cook you. I mean, it's like people will see damage reduction and guard and think, oh, we're good. No. No. Evolution Blue Vegeta with 50% damage reduction fully built up takes 1,000,000 from bosses a lot of time. Like, it's just bosses are that tough now. So, the design, I do like his design, though. He has dodge for the super attacks, but with the guard and damage reduction, he should be able to tank normals. That's the way you have to look at it. His dodge is for supers, and the guard and the damage reduction is for normal attacks, is what it actually is. I don't have a problem with the design at all. I think it's good, by the way. True Dodge or Die is played out. Hirudegarn, STR UI, it's really scary. AGL UI would potentially fall into that, But his first turn, he has guaranteed dodge. If he revives, he has guaranteed dodge, and he's got his revive up potentially a lot. So you don't, in my experience, you do not feel UI Goku, AGL UI Goku being dodge or die like the other ones because of his turns of guaranteed dodge and his revive and stuff, right? His passive, the true last chance. So he activates his intro if there's one Universal Survival Saga ally on the team. As of right now, this is not a condition whatsoever. That's a problem. You know, running at Mastered AGL UI on like all these teams is just literally not a problem, or some other, you know, Universal Survival Saga character. Then he gets 4 key, 77% attack and defense for 7 turns, and then 77% attack and defense for 4 turns. Then he gets 7 key, 200% attack and defense at the start of turn, 70% chance to dodge, 70% chance to crit. Then he gets 15% damage reduction baseline start of turn, and then 35% damage reduction till receiving an attack. So the first time he gets hit, he has 50% damage reduction. If he's in slot 2 or 3, he's definitely going to be able to tank these normals, for sure, for sure. Then, after receiving an attack, he guards for the rest of attacks during that turn. So if you get hit a second time, he'll have guard plus 15% damage reduction. So again, remember that this is for him tanking normals, where boss normals are 1 million plus and 2 million plus damage and shit like that. For those, well, I mean, some of those could probably still potentially do damage depending upon the situation, but this is for him to tank normals, really. Then he gets a guaranteed additional super after dodging during the turn, so that'd be if he's in slot 1. And then he gets an additional that has a 70% chance to be a super as the second or third attacker in the turn. His active skill, Awakening. Now, this is kind of the issue here. So he transforms, activates his domain, Shining World of Void, and then gives superclass allies 4 key for 3 turns. That's pretty good. Very helpful for if you haven't revived yet with AGL UI or in Evolution Blue Vegeta, which is going to be a common. It's going to be very common you haven't revived. Like, that's going to be a common thing, man. So, like, they might not have revived. You're getting the extra key for them to be able to get their guaranteed crit ability and extra damage at 24 key. So that actually is very helpful. And then we can use this starting from the 5th turn from first appearance for UI Goku. So that condition is horrible. Easily the worst thing about him. People will say I'm making it up and I'm over embellishing it. Listen, I like, people will say, oh, well, for a free-to-play player, it's not a big deal. Okay, that's fine. But for me, it is a big deal, okay? Like, I'm telling you my experience in the damn game. And it's literally our first run. We kill the boss before either UI Goku could transform. I'm sorry, but these fights right now, I mean, we could do movie boss rush, and we definitely will you know, it's not even a concern whatsoever. But most of these big fights, like, you know, most of the fight, or sometimes all of the fight, we're not going to be transformed. And because it's from first appearance, it means if he's in turn 2, we can't transform until turn 6. If he's in slot 7, we can't transform until turn 7. The condition is bad. It's just a fact. But, I mean, that's kind of his only real weakness, is that his condition is bad. Then his domain effect, the Shining World of Void, gives superclass allies and enemies 15% attack and defense. He disables boss dodge canceling abilities. And then he gives 15% attack for only allies who are in the Realm of Gods category. That's good. So potentially, maybe him buffing bosses could be something that could be a bad thing, but I kind of want to let it happen first before I like, oh, Code Red, it's so terrible. But, I mean, it is a thing he does. He is buffing bosses, actually, so. Then his links, he has Over in a Flash, Prepare for Battle, Godly Power, Kamehameha, Turn Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. He's on approximately every single goddamn category in the game, too. We'll take a look at that in 2 seconds. Okay. They gave him the 160% 12 key multiplier as well. Pretty good. And 200% on 24 key is the normal. In terms of 200% leader skills we have, as you guys can see, we have quite a good roster. Well, I mean, wow. Okay, so we could run him on Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku 200%, Beast 200%. We could run their team for sure. A lot of these are dead, right? Like, they're dead. I mean, I'm dead, right? Like, a lot of these aren't the best, but he's on some good teams. And his own team, of course, is very good as well. All right, let's take a look at the boys' categories here. So, again, remember that he's on approximately every single category in the game. So, we're on the Universal Survival Saga team, which is definitely a top-tier team. Make no mistake about that. Then he's also on the Realm of Gods team, which of course has, you know, major, strong, ridiculous buffs to it, with a lot of these recent characters we've seen, which is good. Goku is also on Entrusted Will. Remember that one Entrusted Will mission? Well, now, I mean, we got Beast, we got UI, we have so many dominant options, Gammas. Entrusted Will is looking like a pretty solid category, actually. Then, we're also on the Reps of Universe 7 category team. Reps of Universe 7 is now like a top team in the game, as insane as it sounds. And that's with one actually new summonable 2024 character. This is like a top team in the game because of Easy Ace. Again, I know power creep is definitely a concern for sure, but if they make Easy Ace continually at this level, power creep is much less of an issue. It truly is. Then this is Accelerated Battle. This is the Accelerated Battle category right here. Really waiting for this to get a strong DOKKANFEST LR leader skill. He's also on Powerful Comeback right here. Another great addition to Powerful Comeback, obviously, is awesome, sure. Then Goku is here on the Pure Saiyan category team. It'll be very easy for Goku to get his intro on all these categories as well, right? Then Goku's also on the Goku family category team. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're looking good. That's another team that needs a true leader skill. I'd love to see that. Goku is also on the Turtle School category team. Another team, I mean, this did have a good leader skill team in 2023, but I'd like it to have, you know, get another new leader skill. Then Goku is also on, what is this? This is Miraculous Awakening. This is the Miraculous Awakening category. This is, you know, one way he could end up on Beast leader skill, although Goku, of course, is on Superhero as well. Miraculous Awakening, obviously. We've had major, like, you know, DOKKANFEST LRs. All 3 DOKKANFEST LRs this year are actually Miraculous Awakening. Then Goku is also on Legendary Existence. That's good. Getting more Legendary Existence buffs, because that's a weaker team, for sure. Goku is also on the Bond of Friendship. That's another team I'd love to get a leader skill for. Maybe like DOKKANFEST TUR Krillin, who leads Bond of Friendship. Could be really good, I think. Then Goku is on Bond of Parent and Child. Yet another team that's dead that needs a real leader skill that could be very fun is Bond of Parent and Child. We're also on the Superhero category. The head and, I mean, it's just, it was already twice as good as any other team in the game, even Super Bosses. And now they just added either, you know, the best unit in the game, transformed, or like, you know, one of the best, you know, 5 units in the game in base. It's just, it's pretty crazy. Okay, like, I get why people are superheroed out, but, I mean, the funny thing is, the main theme of the year is not really superhero. It seems to be Super Bosses. But it's just like, you know, they do these celebrations, and it's like, we're, you know, hey, the last celebration was 2 Super Bosses summonable characters, right? Rose and Cell Max. And then Tanabata, the part 2 should be a Super Bosses character. I would say Jiren is like 90%, and then it could be Hit or it could be Kefla as well. Then we have Earthbred Fighters, another team. Please, God, give us a new leader skill for this. I'd love a new leader skill character for that one. He's also on the Tournament Participants category, so he's on 17-18's team as well as Topo's team, which is pretty good, sure. Then Goku is also on Transformation Boost, because again, he's on every single category in the game, of course. Goku is also on the Kamehameha team. That's another team I'd love to see get like a DOKKANFEST LR or Carnival LR type leader skill for sure. And then finally, he's on the Battle of Fate category. So there is the base UI sign Goku. Again, yes, he's very good. He's got the he'll have the domain once we transform, actually. But I mean, this is just an amazing overall character. Everything is looking good. A lot of teams, doesn't have bad conditions, strong offensively and defensively. Again, just like, you know, 5-star release so far. So then we can transform. Again, this is kind of really the only negative I would truly bring up about this guy, is just that depending upon how fast you'll cook these bosses, which is fast, and depending upon opening rotation RNG, where he starts out, it could take a while to transform, because it's 5th turn from start of turn, or, you know, I think Goresh said he'll start translating it from first appearance, which makes a ton of sense if you say that, right? His Goku's 5th turn from his first appearance. And you'll be able to actually transform here into Mastered UI Goku right here. Super attack changes, passive changes, and one of his links do change the Mastered UI. So at this point right here, let's go ahead and take a look what we got. So his 12-key super attack becomes Perfect Instinct, which gives him 50% attack and defense for 1 turn, colossal damage, and then disables enemy guard. Sure, we'll take that, right? You know, just 50% stats. Looks good. 18-key super attack is the Supreme Kamehameha. 50% attack and defense, mega colossal damage, and then all allies get 59% attack and defense for 1 turn. That's just outrageously good. So, like, understand, I mean, turn 1, he shows up. He has 100% dodge. You put him in slot 1. He's countering. He's critting. He's additional supering. He has the domain buff, buffing everyone. And then he's buffing like this. It's just like, again, Beast Gohan, I mean, he was the best unit I've ever used in the history of the game. He was. No matter what. I mean, I wasn't there to use STR Gogeta, so I could easily say Beast Gohan is the best unit I've ever used in the history of the game at any point. Better than Kill and Khalifa, better than everything, right? But, like, this guy transformed is, like, above that. Like, so, you understand that. Like, transformed, he's above that. So, this is crazy. It's crazy. Then his passive skill, Silver Sheened Ultra Instinct. So, he gets 300% attack and defense at the start of turn. 7-key, 59% attack, guaranteed dodge, and all allies get a plus 10% dodge chance for the turn. So again, AJL UI Goku would jump up to 87% chance to dodge, right? STR UI Goku in slot 1 would have a 94% chance to dodge, shit like that, right? Then he gets 3-key, 20% crit and 20% dodge per attack performed, up to a max of 12-key, 77% crit and 77% dodge. 4 attacks, which will take 2 seconds. I mean, unless you get, like, the boss is only attacking once or something like that, like, you're going to build that up for free, usually. Then he counters every time he dodges, which is actually one of the strongest abilities we've ever seen. Like, this is one of the strongest lines we've seen. This is actually comical. This is comedy. Pure comedy. Ridiculous. Then he gets 20% damage reduction, and then an additional 40% damage reduction until receiving an attack. So again, you know, this is the first time he gets hit, he'll have 60% damage reduction up. And then the second time he gets hit, you know, he will activate guard, and then for a second hit, he would be guarding with 20% damage reduction. So pretty good. Good for normals, right? And then he gets an additional 91% attack, 20% chance to crit, 20% dodge if HP is 50% or below. So he will have a 97% chance to dodge and a 97% chance to crit when fully built up. Seems very balanced. Not really. And then he gets a guaranteed additional super at 24-key. Very good ability. And then finally, over in a flash, becomes Shocking Speed. So now he has Shocking Speed, Prepare for Battle, Godly Power, Kamehameha, Tournament Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. There we go. Mastered transforming UI Goku. The kid is just silly, ridiculous, easily one of the best units in the game. Here's his links, by the way, his best linking partners. I mean, this looks really good because, you know, good easy A, good easy A, good easy A, good easy A, right? And then, I mean, I feel like this guy will still be useful when the gods get their easy A in 7 months, right? Like, we're looking good, man. Transformed Master DOKKANFEST LR UI Goku. This is nuts. I mean, I only hope that everyone's favorite character gets this type of cocksucking by Dokkan, because this guy is, again, absolutely insane, utterly insane, stupidly broken. By the way, in that last Bojack run, I actually got a couple of link levels just from doing the showcase run, which is funny. So let me know what you guys think. I love you guys. Mwah! And I'll catch you all next time.